Hello, welcome. I'm TK. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we'll talk about Agile and Agile leadership teams, how they can be the cornerstone of your organization's success. Let's start with a little bit of a question. Do you think your leaders are really a team? Many organizations say that they do have a leadership team, that their leaders work as a team, play towards a common goal, collaborate seamlessly. But is it really true? Well, our experience tells us that not necessarily for the majority of the organization. And, if you would answer no to this question, you're definitely in the right spot. I'm TK, Tomasz Kropiewnicki, but you don't have to pronounce all of it, don't worry about it. I'm a leadership coach and a co-founder and a self-proclaimed chief thought-provoker of Humble Associates, a leadership development consultancy based in the UK that helps organizations and leaders create the cultures for high performance and create agile leadership teams, which is definitely something we'll be talking about today. So there's a cool study by PwC about what are the necessary conditions for success for organizations, especially in times of market disruption. And over 60% of people or organizations actually answered that it's actually being able to collaborate across functions. That's a necessary condition for success. So essentially, work across silos. You might think, but TK, isn't it obvious? Isn't it something that we all think we should do? Yes. But the challenge is many people don't. And many organizations actually struggle with that. To be honest, there is no magic wand to create seamless cross-function collaboration. It's much more difficult, and there are reasons for it. Leaders and managers are the most important force keeping it back. And let me give you a bit of an example, a scary one at that. In 1987, management turf wars killed 31 people and left 100 more injured on London's King's Cross. Perfect representation what siloed thinking and management's reticence to communicate can result in. After 7 p.m., a passenger notified one of the employees of the station that there's a piece of burning paper on the platform. So he went down, extinguished it, and told no one, did not call the fire brigade, because in his mind he was given clear instructions, and there was a clear culture in the transport of London that everyone should keep to their own layer of function and not tell anyone else. Around 15 minutes later, actually a safety inspector was notified by a passenger that there's something going on. He noticed the fire, but instead of calling the fire brigade, he tried to put the sprinklers on, the fire prevention system. But he didn't know how to operate it. He wasn't trained, he wasn't permitted to do that. And the rest is unfortunately history. Only when a policeman was notified, he immediately sprung up and notified the fire brigade. It took the third person, and actually not a person from London Transport, to do something about it. Back in the day, TfL was basically run by 4 barons, 4 separate functional areas, and they were fiercely fighting with each other, having different unions, constantly vying for power, constantly trying to fight the turf war. And then a tragedy happened, and the public inquiry investigation exposed it. And TfL made changes. But I do know people working at Transport for London currently, and the scars of this particular tragedy are still in. And some of the behaviors, sadly, haven't changed. These kinds of ingrained behaviors are very difficult to root out. And it's a bit of a problem. Now, the thing is, we do not have to work like that. Siloed management and turf wars are not the only way we can work. There is a different world, we can work differently, and we can change it. And I'm going to tell you what is one of the alternatives that we've been quite successful with in organizations. For us, the alternative are the Agile leadership teams. So mission-focused, cross-functional teams of leaders. No longer separate silos, but actually leaders working together. Now, this is achievable, and based on the principles of agility and agile leadership, we've done it in quite a few organizations, and the benefits are outstanding. I'll talk about it a bit later on in the next slide. But what are agile leadership teams and what they're all about? What are the qualities of an agile leadership team? Well, first of all, the members of the agile leadership team are reflective. They are able to reflect on the way they lead and the way the whole team works, the way the whole team supports the organization's mission. Also, they are very outcome focused. Instead of individual business unit goals, it's important that they understand the mission, they understand the outcome rather than the output. They focus on the outcome the organization wants to achieve to add value. Next, what they do is they continuously improve. The spirit of test and learn, continuous improvement is the core of agility, and a team like this can constantly improve not only the way they deliver outcomes, but also the way they work together. A very crucial thing, combined with reflection and combined with focusing on the outcomes, this actually can lead to success. And finally, I would say that these agile leadership teams are based on trust and autonomy. All of this is underpinned by trust. It is very important, and you need to have the spirit of trust and psychological safety to achieve the results that the agile leadership teams promise. Now, if you are able to, as a team, to reflect, to constantly improve the way you work, to have your North Star on value and focus on the outcomes, plus have enough trust and autonomy to underpin it all, you can achieve quite a bit of success. Your leaders can work like this too. But the thing is, it's not enough to show them this slide. What needs to happen is they need to get support from you. If you're an L&D person, an HR person, it is important that you support them to work in this way because, as I said in the previous slide, it is unfortunately not natural in the business and organizational environment to collaborate like this. Let me give you a bit of an example how we helped one of our clients to achieve that. So, Kraft Heinz, you probably recognize them from ketchup and beans, has asked us to help them to implement this concept of agile leadership teams in one of their groups. So they basically nominated 86 leaders from all across the globe. Essentially, unfortunately, these leaders were in separate business units. They did not really necessarily have any ability to collaborate before we started working with them, to the point that they not only lacked collaboration between the business units, between geographies, but even if you had a business unit in a country, there's usually a factory and an associated office. And there was a bit of I wouldn't say a caste system, but a system that separated the employees in the factory, leaders, managers managing production, and managers, leaders managing marketing, sales, and so on. They didn't really talk with each other. Quite a shame in a company like that. And this was actually reflected in their objectives, their MBOs. They focused on individual performance, on business unit performance, but they didn't focus much, if at all, on collaboration and cross-business unit ability to deliver value. Now, what did we do? For Craft, we embarked on something that we've called the Disruptor Challenge. Disruptor because it definitely disrupted the way they work in a positive way, but also disrupted the way they think and the way a lot of the processes were set up. We've got all of these people that I mentioned previously and put them into 12 Agile leadership teams. They were working globally. People were from very different business units. And so we've matched them and they started working part-time on solving ESG challenges. Stuff like saving water in the factories or maybe optimizing deliveries so they have a lesser carbon footprint, or even helping pregnant employees in factories to have better well-being as they are working on the shop floor. Now, what happened was they worked across a series of 4-week agile cycles in which they have focused on delivering tangible outcomes for these ESG areas and making sure they also embed the spirit of continuous improvement, reflection, and figuring out how to best work together as an agile leadership team. Consequently, they've worked on more than 70 experiments, helping to alleviate the ESG problems, learn along the way not only how to work as an Agile leadership team, but how to best work together to achieve success. This program has been an incredible success for Kraft Heinz, not to also mention a success for us. Not only has it created these teams of Agile leaders, helped them to learn how to work together and made tangible improvements, but also has shown that this disruption, this way of work in Agile leadership team is not only possible, but very much desired by many people in Kraft Heinz. It got to this that Carlos, their CEO, their wonderful first name basis company, has made it, talked about it publicly, and made it a cornerstone of their 10-year strategy for success. And he even said that agility and using it to work across a siloed platform is one of their key enabler for enterprise success going forward. So we are humble associates. We do things like that. We help leaders to create agile leadership teams and gain the agile advantage, be the best leaders that their organizations need. And we help people like you, HR and L&D practitioners, to enable you to do the same for your leaders, to get your organization and your leadership teams where they need to be. We run programs like I've just shown you, Disruptor Challenges and Change Groups. We run individual and group leadership programs. We do group and individual leadership coaching. We run workshops, offsites. All we can do for leaders to grow. And if you're interested, visit our website, drop us a line. I'm sure we can have a great chat, and I'm sure we can support you. So, if you are interested in building cross-functional agile leadership teams, we've got something that you might definitely be interested in. We're running complimentary workshops, tasters, and if this is something you're interested in, helping your leaders develop self-awareness, solve problems in a test and learn kind of way, learn how to increase outcomes and motivation, plus help them with decentralized decision-making, and they want to see us in action, drop us a line. And I'm sure we can figure out how we can help you and run this complimentary workshop for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention, for being here and watching this video. I'm hoping that you've enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that it has triggered some thoughts. I'm hoping that it can also be the first step in your journey of helping your leaders create the Agile leadership teams. Create the collaboration between silos, or even tear down silos that are a bane on organizations' existence and have been there for years and years. And I'm sure that your organization has some of it too. Leaders can achieve great things, but they need your support. So don't leave them be. Go and support them. And let us know if we can help you with that. Bye.